What do you expect as a viewer when you're watching a review? I would assume you at least would expect the reviewer to buy or own the product that they're reviewing and have some sort of experience using that product so they could share that experience with you, whether it's good or bad. But what if I told you that on YouTube none of this even matters? Because you can make a review about a product without ever owning it, using it, or even knowing what it is. These are what I call fake reviews. Of course, we would all like to think that we're pretty good at spotting when someone is lying to us.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Or when something is completely fake. But the reality is, it's getting harder and harder to tell a fake review apart from a real one. And Hostinger reviews are no exception. There has been a ton of fake web hosting reviews appearing on YouTube with the goal to mislead and profit from consumers. And the chances are, if you've been searching for web hosting reviews, you've actually seen these fake videos. And the purpose of this video is to uncover the dark and misleading side of the web hosting review industry. Imagine you're on the market for some web hosting, so you open up YouTube, type in some search terms, and find a video that's reviewing Hostinger. The video looks completely legit, right? Not quite. If you look a little closer, you realize that most of the footage used in this video is just bits and pieces taken from other sources or just free stock footage. For example here, where the reviewer talks about using and testing the Hostinger interface. This footage is stolen from a video Hostinger itself uploaded back in 2018, 3 years ago. The dashboard doesn't look like this anymore, so there's no way the reviewer is actually testing the current Hostinger interface. And this doesn't happen with just Hostinger. For example, in the video about SiteGround, another web hosting provider, they mention how easy it is to use the interface, and this footage is shown.
They have great support features and it's incredibly user-friendly, which makes it easy to build your first site.
Again, this footage is stolen from somewhere and completely irrelevant at this point. As you can see here, this plan expired back in 2019. SiteGround does not look like this anymore, but they claim it's a 2021 review. But borrowing footage and passing it on as your own is absolutely nothing new. At this point in this industry, nobody gets even impressed when you do that.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
The real question is, can you fake performance data to make your reviews even more believable? Well, let's take a look at another example from the same review channel. Hostinger Review 2021. Is Hostinger worth it? And in true fake review fashion, of course it was published in 2020 and just has the 2021 in the name to trick you. But anyways, there's a performance testing segment that supposedly tests Hostinger's speed and gives you, the viewer, an estimate of what you can expect. But these tests are definitely not testing websites hosted on Hostinger. For the speed test, they're clearly testing the Hostinger.com homepage, not their own website. It doesn't make much sense. Just to put into perspective of how absurd and inaccurate this is, here's an example. It's like writing a restaurant review based on a burger you ordered, but for the taste test, you bite directly into a cow standing in the field outside, because you never ordered the burger and you figured, well, it comes from the cow, so it's probably the same. Spoiler alert, it is not the same. It's not even close to being the same. Stop me here if I'm wrong, but I do believe that Hostinger does not use a 99-cent plan and a plain WordPress installation to run their massive business. So testing their homepage speed has absolutely nothing to do with how fast their web hosting is. You're only determining how fast are the servers that Hostinger is hosting their website on. It doesn't make sense. But it gets better, or should I say worse. For the uptime statistic, they don't even do a test at all.
Well, in our testing, it was almost perfect with a 99.997%. So that's going to be fantastic. It means that your website is going to be available almost 100% of the time.
They just take a random graphic element from the Hostinger's website and claim the uptime is 99.97%. It's like writing a serial review and saying they're great because, well, the tiger on the box said so. And the tiger wouldn't lie now, would he? And the images on Hostinger's website are just that. They're just images. They're not tests, they're not analytical data, they're just images put on their website to represent a specific statistic. In this case, it's clearly website speed, not even website uptime, as the reviewer claims. So it's obvious to me that they are exploiting the lack of knowledge from their viewers to look more legit. They're just throwing in some random numbers with random pictures and hoping you don't even notice and just take their word for it. These channels will pretty much fake everything that can be faked if that saves them time and money. Because you see, the goal of the channel is to make as much money as possible by spending as little money as possible. Your needs as a viewer or consumer simply do not fit into this plan. Sorry. I've spent a couple of days watching various videos these fake channels make, and I've compiled some statistics about the footage they use. This is how it looks. 40% of the footage used in the reviews is stolen and most often outdated. 26% of the footage used is taken from the web hosting provider's advertisements. 22% of the footage used is stock photos or clips that are available online for free, and just 12% is somewhat original. But that's mostly a picture of the homepage or just a screen recording of the pricing table. These types of channels are making objectively false and misleading claims just to milk out that commission money as much as possible. And this creates a legitimate problem for you as a consumer. If you're trying to make an informed buying decision, being flooded with fake reviews is probably the least that you would want. And in the past, these fake reviews were less of a problem, because you could spot them from miles away. They used to be filmed in poor quality, there was no voiceover or just a robotic voice, and the information presented was generally boring. But then something magical happened. Freelance websites like Fiverr. You could hire a scriptwriter from Fiverr to write you a script for like $10, then a voiceover artist to read out loud that script for like $8, and finally a video editor to edit all of that mess together for like $20. That's why these fake reviews seem so well made. But under the surface, they only provide outdated and misleading information. They hire a scriptwriter to write them a Hostinger review, but the people that write and edit, they don't want to spend money out of their own pocket just for a quick gig, so they never buy the Hostinger plans. They just Google around and piece together all of the information they find for free from other reviews, videos, and simply stock footage.
We don't create shit. We don't build anything.
Roughly $40 spent and you could have a professional looking video on your channel without having to do absolutely any work besides pressing that publish button. But these fake reviewers are getting so absurd that they even started to save money on scriptwriters now by just copying other people's work word for word. Check this out. Bluehost advertises monthly pricing, but they do not offer any monthly plans.
Bluehost does advertise monthly pricing, but does not actually offer any month-by-month plans.
Bluehost plans work extremely well with WordPress from the feature side of things.
Bluehost plans work extremely well with WordPress from the feature side of things.
You get a free website staging environment. This allows you to create a copy of your website to test changes.
You get a free website staging environment. This allows you to make a copy of your website just to test changes.
The sad reality is that in most cases, the people who are behind these channels have 1. Never even used a web hosting service to begin with, and 2. Have no regards for you as a buyer, because to them you're just a product, a one-time interaction to get off commission money and then just disappear. They just want to spend the least amount of money to make as many videos as possible. That's it. Quantity over quality. Basically, they'll do anything that will make you want to buy using their links, they cash in, they delete the channel or just leave it be, and they start over again with a new brand. That's why there are so many different channels popping up with the same videos. Most web hosting companies have affiliate programs that anyone can sign up for. Once you join an affiliate program, you get a special link that leads to the original website. If people click that link and make a purchase, the company knows you brought them a customer and shares part of that money the customer spent with you. And affiliate marketing is not bad in itself. There are plenty of people that rely on that income to create valuable content, myself included. However, it does create an opportunity for a lot of deception. Affiliate marketing is quite a slippery slope to begin with, because people usually have a hard time trusting reviewers when they know that the reviewer is making money off of his review. However, if you want to make reviews full-time and make them look professional, you need to have some sort of an income, because for me personally, I sometimes spend up to thousands of dollars and weeks of my time buying, testing, editing, scripting, filming, so it wouldn't be possible without affiliate commissions. But as most things in the world, it only boils down to one thing and one thing only. Why should you even care? Well, these fake reviews create a losing situation for absolutely everyone, except for the fake reviewer themselves. 1. You and people like you end up with web hosting services that they don't necessarily need or like, and the money that you've spent ends up further fueling this scam, deceiving more people in the future. That means you'll need to go through a refund process later on, or you'll have to battle with the support team in order to figure out what's wrong because the service that was advertised to you does not match reality. Also, you might not look at other review sources because you believe you have all of the necessary information already, when the information that you've been provided with is simply incorrect or outdated. 2. Web hosting companies get misrepresented and they get an insanely warped perspective of what it's like to work with YouTube personalities. Most of the views on these fake review channels are completely botted. There are no comments, no community, and the web hosting company sees this and goes, well, if this guy gets 30,000 views and makes like 2 sales, YouTube is worthless for us. Even if these fake reviewers go through the trouble of buying comments, they always look something like this.
I am very much impressed with this review video as it gives me sound knowledge about hosting. Thanks. Nice video for Bluehost review. Very good video. Very complete and useful hosting review. A great accomplishment. Very nice. Have been considering Bluehost for long but never tried. This review makes things right. Very helpful review about Bluehost. Thanks bro. Thank you video.
Nice video.
Nice video.
Thank you.
A great success!
All review channels start losing credibility because reviewers stop trusting us. They think that every single reviewer is out to get them or to profit from them without creating any value to them as a buyer. The entire industry starts losing credibility. This is exactly what happened to the written review industry. People realized that reviews are being faked and started looking for other sources of information. This is why people gravitated towards video reviews. They were harder to fake, but not anymore as it seems. But you know how I do it on this channel. Everything that I talk about is backed up by cold, hard data and evidence. And in this case, I even have some prepared. By digging further into this topic, I found what I believe to be the biggest bot channel network owned by the same person, or more likely an organization that specializes in creating fake reviews. And I just want to point out that while the industry might seem to be full of fake reviewers, it's actually just one group of people with tons of different channels that create this illusion. I want for you to learn to spot these fakers and have a better experience shopping online. These channels are Geekman, The Tech Roost, Consumer Research Studios, Cyberdog, Panda Tech, Tech House, Site Builder Studios, and Tech Site Reviews. And I'm sure there will be plenty more in the future. After all, that's how they operate, just a ton of channels that are slightly different. Let's simply take a closer look at these channels, because clue number 1, all of them basically use the exact same thumbnails. Here's a thumbnail from Site Builder Studios, now from Tech House, now from Panda Tech, Consumer Research Studios, and Geekman. Yeah, it's the same thumbnail, and none of these peoples featured in the thumbnails ever appear in the videos, because these are just stock photos. Remember, these channels want to stay anonymous, but appear as if they're real. Actually, if I would go to freepik.com and type in "surprised man," we can see where they're getting their images from. Oh look, here's a match, and another one, and another one. You get the point. Clue number 2. These channels are usually faceless. That means they only use voice-over or the same freelance actors over multiple channels. And this goes into the theme of anonymity. Since you're not really creating genuine content, you don't want to associate your own face and voice with it. Clue numero 3. They almost never showcase the product they're reviewing. It's always footage from the homepage of the web hosting provider. And this makes sense, because web hosting plans are expensive. I pay thousands of dollars every month to have my plans up and running. So these channels just fake it. And faking it means you can't really trust this information to make your purchases. Clue number 4. The view, like, and comment ratio seems way off. For example, look at this Bluehost review from Panda Tech. 44,000 views, 29 comments. That's around 20 times more than a realistic number that would be available for this topic. But anyways, this video is not made to start a witch hunt. Do not go onto the channels mentioned, don't comment anything, don't view their videos, because that way you will be playing right into their hand. You'll give them what they want the most: actual user interaction, because most of the views and comments on their videos are botted, so real views and real comments help them out a ton. This video is simply made to educate those who are looking to make an informed buying decision by a person who's been in the industry for over 3 years now. Yes, it does suck that these things do happen, but they do happen. And the best way you can stop them is by simply cutting off their income. Don't watch their videos, don't click on their thumbnails, and don't use their links. Within time, they will be either forced to do real reviews or simply disappear. For example, want some good information about VPNs, I recommend Tom Spark Reviews. In the market for web hosting, well, I do a lot of web hosting related stuff.
Yeah, boy.
And so does Daryl Wilson. Need to buy a website builder? Site Builder Report does excellent videos. And remember, always get your information from multiple sources. Don't take anything that I say or other channels say as pure fact. If you get your information from multiple sources, you can make the logical conclusion yourself. Anyways, stay vigilant, remember that things are not always what they seem. Cross-check your information, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, boy.